Welcome to the Life of KG, your ultimate destination for all things motivation and business insights. Join me, Katie Godfrey, serial entrepreneur and the brains behind the KG brand. Along the way, we'll welcome inspiring guests and share invaluable business tips to fuel your growth journey. Don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button and leave us a review. With that said, let's dive into the world of success together. Are you a salon, clinic, or training academy ready to scale to the next level? My mastermind applications are now open. A mix of hybrid coaching, which is one-to-one direct access to me, group coaching, retreats, in-person days, online learning, everything that you need to scale to the next level. Click the link in the show notes below and fill out the application form today. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of A Life of KG. Today I have the beautiful Polly. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
I'm so excited to have you on.
Oh my God, I am literally so excited to be here. And this is the first time we've ever met.
I know. And I feel like I just know you inside out already. I love it.
Exactly. Oh no, it's such a pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, you're so welcome. And you're used to podcasts. You have your own podcast channel, don't you?
I do have my own podcast, but this is also the first time I'm a guest.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah, it is. Exactly. So I actually started my own podcast without ever being a guest. Can you believe that?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was that was a big thing for me. But actually coming here today, I'm just super excited to tell my story and just have a little chat.
I'm so excited for you to tell a story. So do a little intro, what you do, who you are.
Yeah, okay. So I'm Polly Vincent. I have been in permanent makeup for, I would say around 15 years, but I've had my own business for the last 10 years. And we now have a team. We have a clinic in a really small town, which is the most easterly point in the whole of Great Britain, Lowestoft. But it's absolutely gorgeous. I love living there. And my business has just gone from strength to strength. And I absolutely love it. I love working with girls, and I also love treating women as well, making them feel so good about themselves.
And I love the fact that this is the first time we've met, but in a period of 2 months, we're going to see each other so much.
I know, we are.
Because I'm coming to see you in 2 weeks' time to get my lips done.
You are, yes.
Because your work is incredible.
Thank you so much. And I feel absolutely so honoured that you've chosen me to do your lips. Thank you.
Oh my God, I can't wait. So we've got that. Then I'll have to have my top up. And then we've got Marbella.
We have. And we've got the in-person
day. God, I get to see a lot of you.
I know. This is going to be good. It's a good year.
It is. So you've got your beautiful clinic, you do training, but obviously all of this would have come from some type of story. So what's kind of your background? Was you always into beauty? How did you kind of get into that?
My story actually starts quite far back, and I know everyone has a way that they get into the industry, but I think I would say my story started probably as far back as primary school. And the reason I would say this is because when I was at school, I actually didn't have many friends. And especially when I was really young, I was bullied quite a lot. And I know that a lot of people probably see me as really confident now, but that is something that I think I've learned over time from putting myself into difficult situations and exposing myself and going through therapy to make sure that I can sort of really have my own voice, because that was held back for quite a long time. I come from a family as well where I've got 2 sisters, and we are so close. And we had such a great relationship growing up. But going to school, that place should have been a safe space for me, and it wasn't. And I really felt that affected my learning.
How old was you at this time?
I would say it started when, I think, when children get to about 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also things at home with my parents weren't great. And when that is always at home, things aren't right, I think the children, even if it doesn't directly affect you, you can feel that emotion. And I was such a hypersensitive little girl. And I think I showed so much vulnerability when you've got bullies or people that they don't get on with other people. They're like hawks. They can find and hone in on people who they know are vulnerable, and they know that you're going to be a target. And I just felt like I was always a target. So for me, school, where I actually loved learning, it became somewhere where I didn't like learning, because as soon as I was out of that classroom, I knew my life was going to be hell, or I was just going to be left on my own with no one to talk to. So life became for me at school a place where sometimes I would spend a lot of my lunch breaks and time where I would want to be, socializing with other, school friends. I'd actually be doodling, painting. The teachers would give me, some paints, or they'd say, here, Polly, you can draw something or color something in. And I actually started thinking, I actually really like this. And it was quite therapeutic. I really enjoyed it. And I'd create like these amazing pictures. And also I was getting this feedback. So I was getting people say to me, you're really good. And it was making me feel special and like I actually was valued.
So you've always been creative then. It's such a shame, isn't it? Like, I don't think they realise at such a young age how much these bullies really do affect us.
Absolutely. But now I thank them, Katie, because look at how creative I am. And also I've got a resilience in me. And I feel that this has passed and transcended into the work that I do now, working with women and the girls at the clinic, because all I want to do is empower and support and make sure that everybody is being seen, heard and listened to.
I love that. And do you find that you still now in adult life have a small circle of friends, or has that kind of changed?
I do. And I have
do as well.
And I've also got quite a gay community of friends.
Have you?
And I think it's because they've gone through adversity in their lives. So I do have I've got a really close-knit group of friends, probably similar to you. Maybe you can count them on one hand. And it's just awesome. And my sisters are my best friends as well.
Yeah, I'd love to have sisters.
Oh.
That must be so fun.
Oh my God, it is. And the weirdest thing is, we're all so different. So when we were younger and we'd be stealing each other's clothes, etc. Now we're older, we've all got such our own individual tastes and everything. So that doesn't need to happen anymore, which is great.
So no shoes are going missing.
No shoes are going missing. No, exactly.
I love that. So, okay, in school you had this creative flair. So when you left school, did you go straight into the beauty world?
No. So when I left school, I then started to do my academic stuff. Things that I thought were going to make me, go to university, because that was where I thought I was going to succeed. I wanted to be this woman who was like a boss bitch, who was able to like go and, and do numbers. And, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I mean, in the back of my mind, I didn't even know why I thought this. I actually thought I was going to be like a marine biologist. I mean, that is not me at all. I know, but I just was having these ideas.
That's brilliant.
I know. But art was always there. And art is such a funny subject, because it's always that thing where people are like, oh, it's art. How are you going to be an artist? But I knew I had this creative flair. And I knew that because I was bullied, and I think a little bit was the way I looked a little bit, I used to wear glasses, I had to have braces. It's like the art and then the beauty therapy came into one. And then that's how I started getting into beauty. And I guess I dipped my toe in the beauty industry and realised, actually, if you do have a brain cell, we can really realise that beauty therapy is a multi-billion pound.
Amen.
Yeah. So, it's not just about eyebrow waxes and lash lifts. We all know that there can be a pretty penny to be made.
I mean, it's all the talk of, especially with parents, when their children leave school, and it's like, going into beauty, and there's such like this cloud over it. If you haven't done good at school, don't worry, you're going to beauty.
That is
like,
it.
What? Like, it's such a huge industry with so much money to be had. Yet people don't see that until they're like really properly in it, and they're we can make a very good living from this.
Exactly. And also we need to make sure that we're positioning ourselves, which is why Mastermind is so great for me, because it allows us to really understand what our worth is, our break-even points. And the industry does have a bad reputation sometimes for being underpaid, because we've still got that mindset that we are beauty therapists and that we're not deserving the wage that we should be earning.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. So did you go into working in the salon?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
And was that like?
I tell you, I've done a few. There's always, I think every time, I mean, did you work in a salon when you left school?
No, I worked in, I must have been like 13 or something, and I'd done one day in a hairdressing salon as a Saturday girl, and I never went back.
Oh my God.
That was my only experience before I opened up my own salon.
How amazing is that? Well, you've done incredible.
How crazy is that?
Well, you're definitely an entrepreneurial woman, I must say. I've worked in a couple of salons, and yeah, I think it's taught me a lot about experiencing different types of salon environments. And another couple of places that I worked, which really helped me elevate my business now, I feel, is I worked at 2 spas. So I think the contrast between salon and spa is quite different. And also working for a spa where you're in a big company, they have a lot more processes, systems, which we now put into our own businesses, but we're only small businesses.
Yeah.
But the salons I worked at, they were doing everything, writing appointments in the diary, people coming in with cash to pay. Like, things have changed a lot since then. So I feel that having worked at 2 different salons, styles, has really allowed me to develop myself as a business owner. That's when I decided, actually, I think I can do this on my own. I think there's a niche for something, and I didn't really know what it was until I found permanent makeup.
So permanent makeup was literally like your reason for leaving employment?
Mm-hmm. It was. And it was a big risk. A lot of credit card debt. I think I had a lady come in for a facial one day, absolutely gorgeous. And I worked on a really lovely holiday resort. I was doing a facial, and I thought, her makeup's stunning. Just tried to take it off, and the eyebrows wouldn't come off, and the lips wouldn't come off. And I was thinking, obviously, I didn't want to disturb her during the treatment. And then at the end,
trying to rub it off, and it's not coming off.
I was thinking, what's going on with this remover? Yeah. And then at the end, I said to her, I hope you don't mind. I gave her a little glass of water, and she sat on the end of the bed. And I said, I hope you don't mind me asking. She said, your makeup is absolutely beautiful. I said, but how do you get your eyebrows and your lipstick to stay on? Because I tell you what I thought it was. One of those lipsticks like Maybelline, one of the ones, yeah. And she said, oh, it's tattooed on. And I said, what? I couldn't believe it. And she said, yeah, I've got it tattooed on. She said, I had it done about a year ago. So she gave me this website, and she said, have a look. So she left, and then there I was Googling it. And I thought, I want mine done. But then when I went on the website, they said they can train you. So I thought, wow, this is something. And I looked into the training, and it was really expensive. And I think I was saving to buy a house at the time. Right. So I decided to whack that in and pop the rest on a credit card. And off I went to London to train in permanent makeup.
But it was the best thing you've done.
The best thing I've ever done. The best thing I've ever done.
I think that's what a lot of people's pain points is the fact that they want to maybe get out of employment or work for themselves, but it is such an investment to go into the permanent makeup space, but they're not really seeing the end return that comes after that. But you risked that, right? Like, it was a risk for you to be like, right, I'm meant to be buying a house, but actually I'm going to put some money down on this. I'm going to get a credit card.
Yeah.
And I think it's amazing that you've done that, and to show that your students that they can do that too. Like, we don't always like have it in the bank, right? We have to make these risks to make it happen.
And I think they're calculated risks. I think when you can really weigh up your return to investment, and you also choose the correct training provider. We offer training. There's so many places that offer training. However, when you find someone that you click with, you know that you're going to get that support. You know that you're going to get that ongoing mentorship. You're working with somebody who's not just an academy, who runs a successful clinic, who's been, I've been working now for the last 10 years, and I've got a team of girls who work for me. This is the type of, when you're looking for these providers, you want to be making sure you're not a number stuck in a class with 6 or 7 other people as well. And making sure that, these are calculated risks. So yes, your training might be expensive, but you know that you're going to get that support and guidance, which is going to help you make that return to your investment.
And you've got needles that you're going to be putting on your client's face, right?
Sure,
like,
absolutely.
You don't want to be going on a cheap permanent makeup course, because you're going to end up paying twice.
Not an online course. This isn't a one day, you're in and you're out. We need to know that you're having hands-on work and experience with models as well. Yeah.
And have you had loads of students come through, which is like completely out of industry? This is brand new for them, and then you've just seen them like really grow.
Absolutely. Do you know, one of the girls that actually works for us, one of my team members, she's amazing. She's been with me now for about 6 years, and she has had loads of jobs in the past. I think she worked as in a telephone shop, like mobile phone shop. She's been waitressing. She's done everything you can imagine. And when she stumbled upon permanent makeup, she was like, "Oh, this sounds like a little bit of me." And I think on a whim, she sort of put in the investment. Was like, I'm gonna go and do it. And now she works for us, and she's doing so well. And she's an incredible permanent makeup artist, and she was out of industry. But that does not matter, because she's testament to the commitment that you put in. Then you're going to get that back, right?
Definitely. And I think a lot of salons need to there's still a lot of salons that don't offer this. And I think it's really good opportunity for salons to get on this.
So if you're a salon owner as well, listen up, guys, send one of your girls on the training, because this will increase your profitability tenfold. Just imagine one of your girls does, I don't know, lash extensions. You could be earning what she earns in a day in a couple of hours, and you need to get her back to back with a few of those clients. You've already got a client base who already want lash and brow services. These clients are having brow lamination every 6 weeks. They know they want their brows looking absolutely pucker. Just book them in and get they get the tattooing on board, and you've got them in there.
Yeah, I don't know why that's just literally come to my head. Like,
I need to be approaching more salon owners for this. I really, really do. Yeah.
Honestly, because I think it's a thing that our advertising or marketing is going towards, those that want to change a career, and great, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's such a good change of career to be had. But also, there's lots of people that are already in this space. We want to make more money.
Yeah.
Like, we want to make sure profit margins are high. We want to maybe go from lower ticket treatments to higher ticket treatments. People that are already confident in doing brows, like, can move on to permanent makeup. But I think the thing that stops people, and I'd love to hear the listeners' views on this, is because they're scared to invest the money that it would cost for a staff member to go on if they was to leave.
Yeah.
That's what the problem is. But there's so many things you can do to make sure that doesn't happen, to protect that investment.
Sure.
The forms that they'd fill out before, like it's all legally binding if they was to leave. Absolutely. And all of those things, that you can still do the investment for the team member.
And also remember, you might be thinking about this for the investment, but if you already have a client base, you might make that return to investment in a couple of months.
Literally.
So what I'm trying to explain is, yes, it's a big investment, but you might make that back in like 2 to 3 months. So if they left after that, yes, you could still ask for the return on the, on the training, but you would have already made your investment back already.
Especially if you do a good launch. Love this. Especially if you do a good launch before, like, to get the models in. And you do that for X amount of time, that you could plan a launch so it's to get the return of investment back, and then everything after that's profit.
Exactly. The best thing as well with our training is I am incredible at doing the videography stuff. You have so much footage. You have so many before and afters. We ensure that our students leave and I literally make them leave, and I always say, I want 10 of your clients booked in. So I know they've already got 10 clients booked in when they leave. So I know that they're setting that ball rolling. I don't want people to sit on their course and do nothing.
No.
So I am so good at obviously creating. It's almost like I can create a launch package for you to send your student or your staff member away with. So you've got all you've got to do is just click your fingers and get it done.
Yeah, that's such a good idea.
Yeah, a package.
Very good idea. I might even put one of my girls in it.
Really? Do it. Yeah. Why not? Because it's so good. And also it's so lucrative. You don't have to do all areas. You could come to me, and if you know that brows are the first area that you want to train in, we do separates. So you don't have to do the full face. We have students that come and they just want to learn the lip blush. That's really popular, and it's also works really well with people who are in aesthetics who want to add that service where they just do lots of lip fillers. So then they're like, actually, I've got loads of clients who can't have lip filler anymore. They're overfilled. The colour has now gone slightly lighter because the amount of filler that's injected into the lip can change the colour of our natural lip tone. This is where permanent makeup comes in. And it stops those clients from keep coming back and wanting more filler. Again, similarly, a lash and brow services. You've got clients who, you know, they've been coming and having like their brows and lashes done for ages. And actually sometimes there's not much we can do with brow lamination and tinting on some clients who don't have much hair. The brow course would be perfect as an add-on as well.
Yeah, that's so good. Well, we're going to be talking after
There you go. Katie's already involved, everyone.
No, I love that. So what do you find is more popular treatment-wise?
Oh, God. The treatment-wise. So I would say the first part of permanent makeup, which is the most, I mean, the number one at the moment is eyebrows, because eyebrows are the pillars of the face. Eyebrows are the one thing that we're most sensitive about. It's the thing we pluck when we're about 10, 12 years old. And unlike a leg hair, once you pluck an eyebrow hair out, it has a funeral, dies and never comes back.
No.
So it's something that, you know, becomes almost a trend as well. You go through the skinny 90s eyebrows. We're now up to the Carla Delevingnes. So everyone wants these big fluffy ones. So brows go through so many trends, and we know that we can't get them back to that shape again.
Yeah.
So that's the first initial point that people come in to have permanent makeup. I want my brows done. Once they've had their brows done, they love the effects. They love the confidence it's given them. They feel so uplifted. They're so happy with the results. They then move on to other areas. So then it's about the lips. Then it's about the eyeliner. And before you know it, everyone's had the diamond package, the full face.
Oh my gosh. If only you could do like permanent foundation.
I know, the amount of people that ask this.
And blusher.
I know. But I think this is not a thing because our skin tone fades and changes and our contours change. So yeah, that is harder to do. But how amazing would that be?
I know.
Just wake up and we're good to go.
It's brilliant.
I know, I love it.
Brilliant. Fabulous. So let me go back because I feel like I've just literally digressed on all of that.
No,
love
you're
it.
fine. You're fine.
So you opened up your salon.
Yeah.
You obviously done business, did you say in school? You studied business?
No, I didn't. I done media studies. This is why I think and my dad is a photographer.
Oh, okay.
So I think this is where I've got into Yeah,
because you are really good at your content.
I do it all myself as
well.
Do
you?
Yeah, I do it all myself, which is time consuming. Actually, is it? I enjoy it. And I think I know what my clients, I know who my premium clients are.
Yeah.
And I know what they want. So I don't have to train someone to get into their mindset. So it comes naturally to me now.
Yeah, no, your page is like so
Thank
good.
you.
You just want to keep scrolling. It's one of them pages you go on and you just want to keep watching. Like, I love that. I can't believe you do it all yourself.
Well, we do have a lady that comes in and films our Meet the Team stuff lately, which you gave me the idea and you said, let's get people in to know the team. And I think that's worked really well because it puts a personality behind the team members. Because although we do really great, work and it can seem really polished, we're actually normal girls.
Yeah.
And that's quite nice because it makes people feel more relaxed about coming in and actually having a treatment with us.
Yeah, I do think it's important. And obviously we always stress like get in front of the camera and all of that stuff as the owner. But then when we forget about the team, and you know what it's like, especially for these type of treatments, if you're booking a treatment, you kind of want to know who you're booking it with. Of course you can always get that warmth and feel across of who that person is if they're visible online.
Yeah.
So I think meeting the team and putting them in front of the camera as well, as much as I don't know about your girls, but my girls hate it.
So do mine. And this is why I got someone in to do it for me, because if I tried to point a camera in front of their face, they just run away. Yeah. So when I've paid someone to come in and we're like, we've got this hour, you're going to talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we done a thing like this or that. That is such a fun game to play. And all they've got to do is just say one word, but it's like it creates a conversation point as well. Yeah. And it shows your personality through just saying, flowers or chocolates or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it can be fun. They end up getting into it, don't they?
They do. It's a bit team building as well. Yeah.
Definitely. Brilliant. So what risk was it to take to set up the salon? Because obviously you've gone and you've invested in credit cards for your permanent makeup training, and then you've gone on to set up a salon.
A big step. One risk. It's like jumping out the frying pan into whatever they say. Yeah. It was a big step, but I felt like I needed it. I was working in to start off with, I was just going around from salon to salon and they were taking big cuts out of everything I did.
Yeah, because that was the thing back then, wasn't it? Like, you used to just
drive around in my car with a little bag, unpack all my stuff. Half the time I'd be like, oh my God, I've forgotten a pigment. Oh my God, I've forgotten a needle. Have to go back, get it. Yeah, that was, and then the salon would then take like 25, 30%. And all I did was use their room. So then I got my own room, and my dad used to call it the posh Harry Potter cupboard. He put a load of wallpaper up in it. It had no windows, and I'd just be sat in there tattooing from morning till night. And eventually I was like, I got to get out of here now. So I found a salon, and it wasn't even a salon. I think it was an estate agent's, and I decided to turn that into.
That's so weird. Mine was an estate agent's.
No way.
Yeah.
So is my other friend has turned her clinic. She's just bought a clinic, and hers was an estate agent's. How random.
That's very random.
Mine was an estate agent's.
Wow.
So there we are. So I went in, and yeah, it doesn't even. So your salon was probably the same, Kate. It doesn't look anything like what it did even when you first.
Yeah.
So you will obviously make it your own, but even since then you add and change it, don't you? It evolves over the years. So we had it as just one massive room, and I've made little rooms in there now so we can all work together. But it was literally just me, and then my sister came in and started doing my personal assistant work for me. So she was doing all my PA work and also reception work. And then we got so busy, we were like, we need another girl in here.
Wow.
So yeah, then I got someone else in, trained them, and then we started training and becoming an academy. Then one of the students, the girl that now works for me, who was had no experience before,
yeah.
I saw some real potential in her, and she was one of those girls. And I love this when you get these students, they've got they're kind of, like when you first learn to ride a bike and you keep falling down, but they get back on.
Yeah, love it.
It was exactly, and she was not going to be stopped. She was like unstoppable. And I saw this real resilience in her where she was like, I am going to make this work because I have to. And I really loved that about her. And I let her go off on her own and continue for a little while. And then I brought her back in and was like, I really want you to work at the clinic. And she's really grown as a person and an individual as well. So that's so nice. But the clinic just has continued evolving. We now do lash and brow treatments, facials, hydrofacial, all different sorts of treatments that we've brought into the clinic. But I think that's a sign of a good business as well, is to evolve. We know that we can't just sometimes rely on single treatments to get us through when we have a team. We do need to move with the times, and we need to think about what can we do to bring clients back into the clinic and, sustainably keep the revenue coming through.
Yeah, because business changes constantly, and what worked last year doesn't work this year.
Yeah, exactly.
What worked 10 years ago definitely doesn't work now. It's constant, and it's constant evolving. And I think sometimes, especially, I don't know about you, but since COVID as well, we would have been really busy in certain treatments back then, and now they're maybe not. So instead of thinking, oh God, business is going under or we need to stop, it's about adding the extra treatments in to build up them profit margins again, because client behaviour has changed.
It really has. And I think that this is where permanent makeup, I found, after COVID, that really stuck around.
Yeah.
Because when people's eyelashes had fallen off, when people's hair had grown out, and they're like, you know what, I can handle the grey. I'm going to just have a longer, root stretch. Or people are like, I don't need sunbeds anymore. I'm happy with my pale skin. My lip fillers have gone down, actually. I don't mind it so much. I think Botox, and I actually think permanent makeup, they were the things that people really noticed the difference in. And that permanent makeup actually was the one thing that lasted, and it stayed on their faces and made them feel good.
Yeah.
So there was a massive boom after that, where people knew that they wanted to be more fresh-faced, but they wanted the permanent makeup to just be their, their kind of, I don't know, their superpower, I guess.
Yeah, it's like a safety blanket as well.
Yeah.
Especially when you're not that confident. I used to be really not confident when I used to take my makeup off. I would be that person that wouldn't take it off before bed, as in I wouldn't take it off until it was bedtime. No one would ever see me without no makeup.
Your skin is beautiful.
And thank you. Now I work a lot. I work hard on it. Hydrofacial has changed my life. Jade Jones also done lots of aesthetic, and beautiful bits for me.
She's incredible.
She was really good.
She's so good.
So yeah, I've really been working hard on my skin, but now I'm a lot more confident without makeup. But it helps when you've got the brows, the lips, and all of that done, because it's not like that blank canvas or that what I felt I looked like as a younger person.
I think permanent makeup is allowing people actually to be more fresh-faced, because it's given them that confidence to say, you know what, I've got my brows on, my lips look like they've got a little bit of a tint to them. I actually feel like I don't need as much. And I think that's a really good example for us to also set to the younger generation, because they're so fixated on, making themselves look like something else and, changing their appearance completely. This is so lovely because it just adds little enhancements.
Yeah, I agree. I can't believe my book is finally out. It's called Get Off the Tools and it is available on Amazon. If you're in the hair, beauty or aesthetic space, no matter what level you are at, this is for you. It's 1 year's worth of coaching in a book. So go and grab yours now. You had baby.
I have, yes.
You're also a mummy.
I'm a mummy now.
Gorgeous.
Thank you so much. Yeah, she is the apple of my eye, I must say. Yeah.
Aww.
And, all the way throughout my pregnancy, did you find out with both of yours what you were having, or did you do a surprise?
Both of them.
I did a surprise. So I know, I'm crazy. And all the way through, I kept getting people telling me I was having a boy, which was fine. But I had in my heart that I was having a little girl all the time. And I kept thinking, I thought it was a little girl. I always did. And the name that I had for her, Penelope, I've had that since I was tiny. I always knew that was what I wanted to call my little girl.
Aww.
So having a girl, honestly, that was like probably the best day of my life. If I could bottle that feeling and sell it, I think I'd be multi-millionaire by now.
Aww.
Yeah, because that was the best feeling in the world. Yeah.
I don't think you can even explain the feeling, can you?
No.
Like, did you give birth naturally?
No, I didn't. She wouldn't come.
Was she not?
I was over like 2 weeks, and they were.
No.
I know, and I wanted to do the Mother Earth thing. I didn't want anyone to touch me. I wanted to do the home birth and all the rest of it, and I ended up being like C-section. Yeah, but I did still have Celine Dion while I was having the baby.
I can so imagine.
I did. And also the guy that helped deliver the baby, he was gay, and one of my clients did my C-section, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah. So it was like, hi, Polly.
Oh
my partner was like, for God's sake, what is going on? Poor Sam.
But that feeling after a baby, like,
yes.
It's just the best feeling ever, isn't
It is. But also, similarly, I think we should also talk about the fact that when you do have a baby, how it's so difficult when you own a business, how your mindset and your time changes, and you suddenly feel like you're split in half. Yeah. Where do you fit into your new life as a mum and a business owner? You've obviously got Lola and Brody, absolutely gorgeous. And how do you find that that fits in for you?
It's hard, definitely. And I think that when I had Lola, I was a single mum.
Yeah.
So I had to just juggle it straight away.
Yeah.
There was no stop.
Faffing around.
The next day I was in doing a disciplinary.
No, you weren't.
Yeah. It was a lot. But then I learned how to, because I obviously wasn't doing treatments or anything, but then I was managing the team. But then you know what it's like when you come away from treatment and then you start managing the team. You've got to learn to be a leader. You've got to learn how to set boundaries. So that part wasn't in place yet when I had her. So it was constant as soon as I had her, but then learned to then do the boundaries, make sure I set my time. So with Brody, I felt like I was completely okay. It was a different story altogether. But I really learned the fact of don't juggle.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work. Yeah. I can't work and do babies at the same time without being a stress head to my children.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because when I'm all in, I'm all in. So when I'm all in as a mum, I'm all in. I've got the whole of me. When I'm all in as a business owner, I'm all in. So if I'm really focused on the business and they're like, mum, or should we do this? Should we do this? I'm not focusing on them. And I always think that as a little person looking up to their mum or their dad and they're constantly on the phone, what does that kid think or feel? And I might be looking into it too much and I am on my phone a lot, but I am always like, oh my God, imagine if they're thinking, God, mum's just always on her phone or she's not paying attention to me or any of those things. So I try my best, not all the time, but try my best to separate it. So when I'm at work and I'm not mum. And when I'm with my children, I'm mum and not at work. And obviously there's got to be some crossover at times, when the phone goes or the staff or whatever. But it's more be light-hearted stuff rather than engrossed in building the business.
Yeah, yeah. Not making those massive business decisions when you know that they might need a little bit of your attention.
Yeah, I really try my best to separate it as much as I can.
I feel like with me, I didn't do that to start off with. And I got that real blurred line, and it was so difficult for me to then stop that. And I'm now getting there where I'm like getting a little bit more of my time back. Penelope's now, you know, at the childminders more. I'm now stepping away from the business more thanks to Mastermind, everybody, which we can talk about in a minute. But yeah, it's just been like a real journey for me. And also as a business owner, I feel like I'm becoming the business owner that I want to be after becoming a mum. Before I was a mum, I was like absolutely hell-bent on like working myself into the ground and thinking, how many clients can I do a day? How many people? And I was like, you walked into that salon, I was the hardest worker. You walked into that salon, I was a person who'd like sold as many, you know, the most products. I was almost trying to make myself a martyr. And that is not the way it needs to be. You know, we need to think about and slow down, you know, how do we want to be managing our business as a parent? And if it wasn't for Penelope, I actually feel like she saved my life in a lot of ways, because I don't think I was capable of having fulfilling relationships. I certainly was just, you know, I was also spending my money on things which didn't, like I had money to spend on stuff which actually didn't mean anything. Now, when I have an income coming in, I'm really grateful for what comes in, because I know I work such less hours.
Yeah.
And I think about how I want that to be put either back into the business or how that's going to benefit my family.
Yeah, definitely. I think it is a thing when you don't have children, and I was the same as you completely, where it's like work, 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 work.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of not like what else is there to do, but we love our work, right? And we're
We love
passionate about it, and
working.
we're building it. And building a business takes a lot of time and effort. But like you said, to carry on like that, it's going to cause burnout. Whereas then I think when you fall pregnant, when you realise you're having a baby, you're like, wow, okay, I need to look at this as a completely different way. Whereas that's when you turn into like a real business owner, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. And I have so much admiration and respect for mums in business, and equally women who aren't mothers but already get to this point that we are at now. Because I think having that pivot, it's really, you know, takes somebody to snap you out of that.
Yeah, definitely. Wow, I love that. So have you found it hard being a mum in business?
I think, do you know what? I'm going to be completely honest. Yeah, I have. And I think a lot of people would sit here and say, oh, it's just about balance, it's just about juggling. You know what? It's actually been really hard.
Yeah.
And I think I definitely went through a little bit of postnatal depression.
Yeah.
And I think I lost control of instead of having my business head on, I became more emotional. So I started leading my business through emotion. And I also lost team members who were really crucial in me keeping my business going. And I think a lot of that was down to me losing leadership. I showed vulnerability and weakness. And it really felt like a personal, and it wasn't personal at all, but it felt really like I just didn't know how to move through that. But now, working especially with Mastermind and being around other mums, it's really helped me get both my feet back on the ground. And even just having those feet on the ground, that took a lot. But now I feel like I started walking forward like baby steps, but now I feel like I'm actually making great headway. And like, I feel like this cloud is lifting up a little bit, and I'm able to really see more of like a future of the business brighter as a mum. Because I can seriously say, I actually didn't know what the hell I was going to do, because I'd lost somebody who was going to be there to help me and support me. And I'd had this new little baby, and I wanted to be a mum that I thought a mum was, which was staying at home, looking after Penelope, doing the mummy groups, all of that. That did not happen for me. And then I had that mum guilt. And the mum guilt comes on at such weird times. Some things like today, when she stayed at my sister's last night and been dropped off at the childminders, I don't feel any guilt today to do this podcast. But then it'll be something really random, like I'll go get my nails done, and then I'll suddenly feel guilty. Yeah. It comes at weird and wonderful times.
Does. Mum guilt is a big thing, like a big thing. And I think it stops a lot of people from doing what they need to do to progress in their career. And do you know what, at the end of the day, I always say as well, when we have these moments of mum guilt, we have to realise we're doing it for them at the end of the day. And we are still who we are, not just mums.
And do dads get it? I don't think they actually get
No.
the dad guilt.
No.
They don't. And like, we want to be equals, and I do believe we are equal to men, don't get me wrong, but we still have that emotional pull to our children that I don't feel that men have as much. The maternal side is still actually indoctrinated and ingrained in us. It's like in our actual DNA.
Yeah.
So to try and deny that is just impossible.
Yeah, definitely. I have just reminded me of something, because when something happens to my children, I always wonder, does Luke get this feeling? I bet he doesn't.
Yeah.
But if something happens, like, my heart goes as if I can feel it happening. Like, it's really weird. I can't even explain it. But say, like, I think Brody's gonna fall over, for example. The heart feeling I get, I'm like, I'm pretty sure Luke won't get that. I mean, obviously he still cares and all of that. But it's like this instinct that I get before something happens. And I'm like, women are so in tune of like their children.
And the fact that like men can do things like, I find, with Sam, and this isn't everyone, this is not us dissing the men, because
No,
we love it. I know
it
isn't. But I know with Sam, he can do like night shifts at work, or he will go, he'll go and do lots of training for the job he does, and he'll be away sometimes for a week at a time. But he knows that I've got that shit on lockdown. Do you know what I mean? He knows that she's going to be looked after, her childcare is going to be arranged. I'm still going to be able to, like, my job is similar to yours. We can like work it around the children. Yeah. So it can become sometimes almost like an expectation of women to work around the kids. But how we do it, I have no idea. And I think we are literally superpowered women. I don't know how. Yeah, give me my cape.
Yeah, definitely. It's a different ball game.
It is, absolutely.
For sure. How have you found it growing the team, like going into employment and being like a leader? Because obviously you've had salon jobs before, so you would have had bosses.
Yes, yeah. I mean, one of my best bosses that I think I ever had was a local holiday resort, and she had such really big ideas for her business, but she was always really strict on us, and she always had like a certain way that she always wanted the place to look, the place to feel, the smells, the sounds. And I really kind of took that into the salon, the clinic where I am, which I own now. And I always find that when you employ people, sometimes they genuinely want to be led. They want to have someone to lead them because they don't know how to do it. And I've really enjoyed showing people like the way that I like things done and creating those standards, because it's really helped some of my staff like elevate themselves. And I can see that they've changed. They come in and we're sort of like, right, this is the way you do this is the way you do that. And it's just like training people's levels of standards. And I've really enjoyed that part of employment. The part I don't enjoy about employment is the numbers, the spreadsheets, all of that stuff with staff. I find that difficult. And also just learning, like, can I send that staff member on a course? Have we got the budget to do that? I find that quite difficult sometimes, but I'm getting there.
The numbers are always the hardest part of running a business, though, aren't they? Like, I think it's the part that everyone, or most people, will avoid, will just kind of like work it out as and when it happens. But I think when we do start learning about it and understanding, like, that's when you're like, this is why there's no money left at the end of the month, or this is what's happening to this, or this is how I can grow.
And also just seeing those profit leaks, like you can look it through and you're like, what the hell is this we're paying for? Or why are we paying this much for this service? We're going to cut that out. So if you don't actually have that look at your business and work out what is going through those numbers, you're never going to know what's going on. And that was one of the first things I think that we did when we were in Mastermind, was just let's get up the numbers and see what is going on.
Yeah, it's the first thing I look at before anything.
Is there a business there?
Yeah, let's figure the numbers out first before we look at anything else. Yeah. And then it's normally completely different to what people need it to be. So then we'll work on that. Love it. I can imagine you being a really, really good leader. And I think because in the beginning as well, you said about, nurturing people and, and you've gone into training, you've got your team. I can just imagine you being a really good leader.
Oh, thank you. I think you're an amazing leader. That's why I'm with you. But I think being a leader for me, also, it's about setting a standard. But also, I am really a boss that is not afraid to be a caring boss. You know, I love my girls and I'm not afraid to be someone that does wear their heart on their sleeve, but I also do have to be quite firm at times and have boundaries. So it is one of those situations where I'm a little bit of both. I know I've got some friends who are in the industry who have a team and they're like really quite strict on their girls. And I do see my girls outside of work, not as much as they see each other and socialise. But for example, this Sunday I'm taking them all to Go Ape.
Oh, lovely.
And we are all going to be swinging along the treetops together. And then afterwards we're going to have like a Sunday lunch. But that is the sort of thing we do to like be team building exercises between us.
Brilliant.
And I love that they have such a great friendship and relationship with each other as well. And I would like to think that I've nurtured that within them to make my workplace an environment where they can actually be friends with each other as well as colleagues.
It's very important. I always say to my team as well, like there's nothing worse, I don't feel, for me as a boss, of coming to work and not enjoying your work or liking where you are or getting on with the team. You are with your colleagues more than you're with your family.
Oh my God, you are. You literally are. I
know.
So
you have to do that team building as that boss, as that leader, to make sure everyone is happy within the workplace. Because as soon as they're happy in the workplace, everything else will blossom. If there's a bad egg or there's the rotten apple that they say, or someone's unhappy, it's a ripple effect that happens throughout the business, and just want to avoid it.
I think something that someone once said to me, and I thought this was really a great analogy, is it's like if you're all sitting in a boat and everyone's got an oar and everyone's trying to swim in the right direction and we're trying to get to a certain point, and there's somebody who's doing their oar the wrong way. So when you first start doing, when they first start doing it, actually it doesn't make any effect because everyone's got so much momentum. But as you start continuing down that river, the boat starts veering off and it starts going to the side, and you're never going to get to the target that you want to get to because that person does have an effect on the entire boat. So it's really, really important that we make sure that everybody is happy in the workplace. And sometimes I found as well with some employees, it's not actually about the work environment. It can also be about personal and outside issues. So sometimes it's about, making sure that your staff are addressing sometimes issues that are, going on outside the workplace, because that will make them a happier employee, and that also alters the complete vibe of the salon.
Definitely. We've had it where team members like, this is my safe place. Like, I'll come here, love my job, but it's my safe place to be able to talk to the manager or the other girls and stuff, or they're really happy when they come to work. But for me as an employer, I'm like, I wouldn't want you to work for me if you wasn't happy.
Yeah, sure.
I would hate that for someone to come to work and be like, I hate work, don't want to come here. I would not want to create that type of environment. So it's really important to me that everyone's bonded, gets on, that even though I'm not even in the salon, so I only go to the salon to get my treatments done. But they know if there was a personal issue or they needed to talk to me about something, they can still pick up the phone when they wanted, because I want it to be that we have that open relationship to talk about anything, even though I'm not there.
So have you got some of your staff members that have known you to never ever be in this, they've only ever started at the clinic, at the salon, without ever knowing you to do a treatment?
Yeah, I have staff members that I didn't even interview, the manager did.
Wow.
And I just trust the process, and that part's hard because I love interviewing. And I'd say I'm very good at it.
But you can't be everywhere.
But I can't be everywhere. So we were interviewing the other week actually, and there was one day that I was free. I was like, I'm coming down. They're like, why are you coming down? I was like, I really just want to interview them. And I did go in on the interviews, but I stood back and let them get on with it. But I'd say there's only one person in my salon now that's been there when I was doing treatments.
Wow.
Everyone else is, they've never known me to do treatment.
Yeah. But you're crazy. Always there. You're always there.
I'm always there in spirit. And obviously, even with me moving, I was like told the girls that I was really worried to tell them. I don't know why I was worried to tell them, because I'm not there anyway. But it's the fact that you're not in the country anymore is different, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, FaceTimed them when I was in Dubai, and I got them all together, and I was like, I've got some news for you. And their faces, they were like so scared what I was going to tell them.
No.
And I was like, I'm moving to Dubai, and they were like, what? And I was like, please no, nothing is changing. Like, I only come to you guys for treatments anyway, and actually it'll be more exciting because I can't wait to get on Zooms with them and like see what's going on and, you know, grow the salon that way from afar.
Yeah.
So they were really fine, but it doesn't make any difference to them because I'm not visible in the business anyway, day to day.
I think that's incredible. I think a lot of people will literally be looking at you and thinking, oh my God, how has this incredible woman started a business where she had no salon experience, built an amazing reputation. You know, your clinic, your salon is incredible. You've got a great team, and now you help women worldwide.
I love it. It's only when you talk about it that you're like, wow,
how have I done this? I know. I rule the world.
So let's talk about Mastermind.
Yes.
Because we were talking for a long time.
I know. We touched
before you
and
joined.
We've touched on this throughout the, you know, on little points as well throughout the podcast. But this has been such a great experience for me. And before I joined Mastermind, I actually went on a it was like a networking event, which I highly recommend anyone to go to because they're so great. And I'd seen Katie online, I'd listened to her podcasts, and I was like, oh God, this girl's got, you know, she's got it going on. And you know, you keep getting like these snippets of somebody. And then Katie actually came and done a talk. And I was like, oh my God, it really...
It was in London, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I was like, oh, it was a beautiful sunny day. And I think I'd had a couple of glasses of Prosecco. And I was like, I know this girl. And it's like I kind of knew because I'd seen you on social media. But, you know, you are completely... The person that you see on socials is the person that you are, obviously. And it's... I think I'd been burnt before in a mastermind that I'd done. And I was quite vulnerable at that point when I just had Penelope. And I was really in a place where I was like, I don't know if I can actually go through this again and lose any more money financially, but also the mental strain as well of like thinking that, you know, something that you put your heart and soul into doesn't seem to like come out. It was really difficult for me. And I then started talking with you and we were just chatting online. And I think for me, there was something where I think when you just know someone, you get a feeling where you think this person actually cares, this person is actually here to help. And since day one, I mean, I am somebody who works quite well on WhatsApp and stuff like that. I hope I don't hassle you too much.
No, of course not.
But when I do, it's only because I need those genuine like responses, and you always get back to me really quickly and we can hash things out and you always give me your full attention. You've also made it like, I noticed about you, what you've done with my business is you really want to understand the business. You want to understand the team, understand how I work mentally and emotionally within the business. And it helps you guide me as a business owner. There's some girls in our mastermind who I think really do lead with like they're more money driven, which is awesome. But everybody is really, their personality traits are different, how they lead, isn't it? So
yes, everyone's so different with how they lead.
Oh my God, absolutely. So this is a mastermind for everyone, basically.
Yeah.
And if you're not in it, get in it.
And you've like built friendships, and when you've only been in it not that long, really, and you're always already like talking with the girls and the community aspect, which I feel that a lot of people really underestimate because, like I said, it can be so lonely.
Well, we know when we've got a team, the team is our team. But do you think I'm going to call my team and say, hi guys, I'm having a bit of a financial crisis? I'm not going to be doing that. Or saying, yeah, exactly. Or saying, you know, there's loads of white space this month. You know, we don't need to, you know, you don't need to discuss that with your team. So having a mastermind gives you like-minded women in business who also have teams. So the great thing about this particular mastermind that Katie runs is everybody who's in this actual group are all within the same parameters of business. So you've not got someone in there who is working from home. You've not got somebody in there. You know, everyone who's in there has got a team. They're doing certain turnovers a month. They're here because they fit into this particular group. And Katie puts everyone in because she knows that we're all going to gel and get on.
It's really, really important to me. It's like building a team.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about masterminds. And that's why I have the different levels.
Yeah.
Because if you put people in the wrong level, they might feel a certain way, or the conversation's different.
Sure.
And I would never want anyone to think they've wasted their money.
No.
Like, not a chance. Like that would make me feel really upset. So I want it to be pure value for people, but they have to be around the right people as well. So even though like some people love the community side and don't maybe use me as much one-on-one because they get everything they need from group, but then lots of people will want me one-to-one and not so much from group. Like everyone will learn very differently, which is why we try and do all the different aspects of it to cater for everyone's needs. But it's no different if we was to bring the wrong person in, it can change the dynamics.
Sure.
So it is literally, that's why it's like a screening process. We need to make sure everyone's right for it, but the different levels. So depending on your earnings, is what mastermind you go
The
in.
only thing that I will say is I'm scared what's going to happen when I have to leave at the end of the year. I'm like, where do I go?
Say, you just stay on.
Where do I go after this? Oh, good.
You
Okay,
just stay on.
Okay, we just stay on. That's fine.
You're all good.
Good.
You don't have to leave. Well, there's other ways. Everyone says that.
I
They're
know,
like,
I'm like,
I can't leave.
I know. You were looking at me thinking, what's she going to say? But yeah, I'm like, how do I continue this? I need to stay in. Yeah.
No, I love that. It's all good. But I also love the fact that the beginning of your journey, you took a risk.
Yes.
With, leaving the job, investing in permanent makeup. Then another risk, setting up the clinic.
Then a risk having a baby.
A risk having a baby. Like, then a risk of investing in a mastermind that wasn't suited for you. And then another risk, even though you got burnt in that, to invest again. And I think the point is, in business, we never stop taking these risks. And I think it's risk and consistency, which just builds like the best businesses and best business women.
Yeah.
And I think people just get so scared to take the risk. And I think the risk will always make us feel sick, right?
It does. And those risks a lot of the time are on us. Like, do you think I'm asking my boyfriend or my partner for money to be invested in my business? Hell no, this is mine.
Yeah.
My mortgage is my own. Everything belongs to me. So it's down to me to make these risks as well. And I think in business, you do have to sometimes put yourself on the back burner. I mean, how many times have you been like, you know what, maybe we won't have that extra holiday this year because I'm actually going to make sure I'm not going to take that out of the business for me. I'm actually going to put that back in. I've done that so many times because I think actually that investment that I put back in is going to come back to me next year.
Yeah.
So it's about the ego sometimes saying, no, Katie, you can't have it this year. But next year you're going to be doing something really exciting like moving to Dubai.
Yeah,
there you go.
Definitely. The risks pay off. Like, you just got to keep doing it. I mean, how long have I been in business now? A long, long time. Yeah, just yesterday took a huge risk and said yes to something. And I was like, I don't have the income for that, but we'll make it work.
Yeah.
So we do have the income. But I could shy away from it. And then where's the growth after that?
Do you work under pressure a lot?
Yeah. I do think I work under pressure a lot. I'm a massive planner. I like planning everything out. Like, I know what's coming a year in advance.
Okay. Yeah.
But then I will always, I think that's what builds the pressure, to be honest. I know what a year in advance is like. So I need to make sure that the next 3 to 6 months is completely done.
How do you feel like you've changed as a business owner from, like, obviously you've seen yourself grow from starting your business to like where you are now? How do you think like your mindset is? Do you feel like we start with imposter syndrome and then that literally becomes like it's gone? Or do you feel like it's still there?
No, it's still there.
I know. So
it's
mine.
Still there.
Why?
Yeah, but it just happens at different times, and I just try and knock out whatever makes that come to me. But I think there's always times where you get imposter syndrome, especially normally when you're going to the next level.
Yeah, that's it. When you're starting to do something different.
Yeah. But I also feel that in the years of me being in business, it's about who I'm surrounding myself with to help me keep leveling up. So whether that is a mentor, the group of friends I'm around, or what that might be, what I'm consuming my time with, my resilience is stronger than it's ever been. And that is years from, being shit on by staff.
Yeah.
Maybe not leading right, having business fails and losses, that always will happen and will carry on happening. But you just get so much more resilient to everything. But I also see like now such huge potential in myself and other people with what they can do. And And that's what I loved. Like, I'm like, well, okay, I've got this far. So how much further can I go in another 16 years of business?
Yeah.
And just because you grow as well as a business, the risks and the opportunities and the problems all get bigger. We might have more freedom and we'll have more money to play with, but it also comes with big issues.
Yeah. Different problems,
definitely. But I love growth, I love expansion, I love being able to help people, like, love it.
Yeah, I can tell. And thank God you are helping us, because we surely need it. We do.
So where can people find you online?
So people can find me online. You can head over to our clinic page, which is Enhanced Cosmetic Clinic. And on there, our academy and our account is all joined in one. So you can see all of our pictures of our beautiful work that we produce, our team. But also you can find out about how to train with us, which different courses that we actually have on offer. And also, I am so friendly and open. Please message me, DM me if you've listened to this podcast and you really resonate with anything that I've said. Even if you just want to chat, please message me. But if you're interested in training, I would be absolutely honoured to help anybody start their career. It is an investment, but the risk has really paid off for me. Katie's now looking into doing it for her salon already. So yeah, if you're a salon owner or a complete newbie, please get in touch. Yeah, and I'd love to hear from you.
It's such a good opportunity, and it's only going to grow. Like, this industry is only going to grow.
Oh my God.
Permanent makeup's only going to get bigger as the world evolves. Like, I just think it's a no-brainer.
And once you start it, you can't stop.
Yeah.
So you do need to have that retouched. You can stop, but you want to look your best, so you want to keep having it done, right? Same as the lash extensions.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I will put everything in the show notes so you guys can go and check Polly and her clinic out, because it's absolutely stunning. If you are interested in courses, then please make sure you head over to her website and go and also check that out and drop her a message. If you love this episode, then please screenshot it, tag us both so we can get it as far and wide as possible out there. And thank you so much. You're an absolute dream.
Oh my God, thank you so much for having me. What episode are we on right now?
Oh, I don't even know.
2025.
90 something. I think it's 190 something.
Oh, well, it's been an absolute pleasure. And thank you so much for having me on. And I can't believe this is my first time being a guest. It's been great.
I know. You're incredible.
Thank you.
Thank you.